Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. And thank you, Jesus. It's around that time right here on KAZ Radio, where we have one of the most hottest shows every single Sunday at 3. None other than What's Going On with Lady D and the Anomaly, Sir John. Take it away, Lady D.
Well, good afternoon. All right, and it is a wonderful Sunday afternoon here in Cleveland. We got
sunny and cool.
Yeah, well,
typical.
We're gonna take it because they said it snowed somewhere early, somewhere this morning.
Long as it ain't here.
Yes, okay. All right. Well, not to further ado, we're gonna get this show on the road. We're so blessed and honored to have some beautiful young ladies here from the sunny California, and I'm glad they brought the sun with them. And we are so honored and blessed to have our own Cleveland Mother Love is in the house today. Okay. And also, Mother Love, tell us, you brought us some wonderful guests along with you.
I brought a fellow Clevelander. Her name is Pastor Carmen J. She is a graduate of Ohio Christian University just yesterday, graduated cum laude. She is a singer.
Congrats.
Awesome singer, songwriter, and that's what she does. And she is a woman on fire for God. This
Praise
beautiful young lady is Stephanie Cunningham. She is a renowned videographer and filmmaker. She's made films, and collectively we have created, they created and told me, okay, Mother, you in it, so just do it.
Okay.
Kind of like what you do to me. Okay, this is what you're going to do. I don't want to do. Yeah, you are. Come on, let's go. And we've done this is Stephanie Cunningham, and she's done a lot of videos. She shot a lot of videos for a lot of famous people. And we've done a pilot that we're pitching and we're working to sell called Just Because.
Okay.
And it's a generational faith-based comedy about 3 generations of women, and one woman, I play the mother. And one woman, she has 2 grown daughters. And her and her husband was someplace doing stuff that husbands and wives do when they don't have nobody in the house, and they made one of them oops babies.
Oh, okay.
So they got an oops baby. She's got a little boy. She has no idea what to do, and then her husband dies. Oh. And then I play her mother, and I move in and wreak havoc and run amok. And that's what I do. That's what I do. And they done talk me in all kind of stuff. I got green stuff on my face. I got my wig on the chair. I done fell down. I did all my own stunts too, didn't I?
Okay.
All right.
Well, that sounds like that's going to be
and
a
I do
good
have
one.
a praise report for my Carmen graduated yesterday. On February 24th. I received my doctorate of divinity. So I'm now Dr. Mother Love.
Okay.
All right. Amen.
Well, we know you do that quite well, Mother Love.
Thank you, darling.
All right. And now I'm going to just switch over to Carmen. Carmen, tell our audience a little bit about you.
Sure. Well, I'm from the great city of Cleveland Heights here in Cleveland. I was actually born and raised in Cincinnati, but moved here, 2nd grade. And I actually used to work here in this building. And so it was just bringing back great memories here for me being here on the lake here. But I'm from Cleveland. I moved to Los Angeles in 2011 to pursue my goals and dreams in life. I felt like there was more that God put in my heart to do. I'm a musician. I was leading a worship and praise at a local church here in Euclid, Ohio for 5 years. And while I was sitting there, God just spoke to me and said, I have more for you to do. And so he got me out of my comfort zone, and it was a big step of faith to move out to LA, really not knowing the whole blueprint. But that's what faith is. It's doing the impossible, and doesn't make sense. Right. Just step out. That's what it's all about.
Okay. Just step it out.
You want me to do what?
That's right. So I sold everything, let everything go but my clothes and my car.
Okay.
And I went out there to pursue my goals and dreams of just being able to make an impact in Hollywood and to bring the television audience and viewers some good, wholesome, faith-based, inspiring, life-changing material. And I just believe that, it's not just important to talk about things, but we have to have solutions to the problems that we face in life. And so as we were talking about Just Because, the show that God gave me to create, it's really about people finding opportunities within life's adversities. And so many times we live for tomorrow instead of enjoying the fruits of today.
Right.
And so it's really about finding, what do you do when you deal with life's issues in life? Do you just sit there and complain about it? No, you pray to God, and then you get up and you do the impossible in spite of your situations. Because we got to live. Life goes on. If
Exactly.
we were to leave
Absolutely.
life today, people are still going to smile. People are still going to be laughing.
Right.
So we got to take care of us.
Exactly.
Find out what your purpose is in this life before it's too late, and then go for it. Just do the impossible.
You know, that's one of the things that people are so miserable about because they don't stand in their purpose. It looks too big. Well, yeah, that's why you go to God for guidance and direction. You trust what He's telling you.
Yeah, an ark looks too big.
Yeah, I'm like, really? I'm like, really?
You
I mean,
know?
like, what make you so special that you don't get to step into your purpose, and you know
Right.
we don't get to have your gifts? You're stingy. Shut up. I'm
Well,
out the mother love.
I understand it, though. But yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of times we look at things that's so big. I know in my own life I have always had, but God somehow forces it to go one way whether I want it to or not.
Cause see, that's cause you trying to help God alone. God don't need your help, John.
Right. I'm trying to, well, yeah, I'm trying to help
you
him
know
out.
what,
I'm
wait
trying to
a
go
minute.
this way. And he's like, no, it's got to go this way.
Wait a minute, Lord. Wait for 1 minute now. If you just let me eat this chocolate cake today,
Oh, little
I will.
Oh
do my-
Lord, he's bad with the sugar.
Oh
the Debbie's.
my God.
I have to go and take his stuff from him and hide it.
Shit.
The whole office, I guess.
Yeah,
you know.
I have to take care of him though, you know, because he's a diabetic. And
Oh, I got your little Debbie thing for you. I was gonna be real nice to you. Now you know I have type 2 diabetes too.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna let her have me. So you gonna have diabetes and let her. Are you married, John?
Yes, I am, and she controls everything.
Wait a minute. Okay. Well, what's your wife's name? You talked about
Lois, and
Okay.
she's probably watching.
Lois, this is what we gonna do for John. We gonna get a nice life insurance policy since he wanna be on this little Debbie kick. And when he drop dead, we gonna take the money. We gonna monitor the check clear. You gotta take to your bed and just, oh my God, John, let's go. Soon that check clear, we going to Tahiti.
Yeah, all right, that's a game.
Oh, he think I'm playing.
No.
I done been to the Cayman Islands. I done been to the Bahamas. So Tahiti on the list, John.
okay.
Okay.
That's nice
All
and sunny.
right. Now Stephanie.
Oh, look, we did that on
Oh,
yours.
all right. Okay, so now Stephanie, tell us about you.
Oh, wow. I'm a visual artist. I come from a family of filmmakers and people working in the entertainment business. My father started out as a cameraman for NBC for about 33 years. Interesting enough, my daughter came in and noticed the type of job he was doing in the studio. I said, I think I want to do that too. So she went to school and became a director, and she appointed me her producer. Now, interesting enough, I raised her. I'm a photographer by trade. I
Okay.
started out from high school, and I'm still a professional photographer today. I've had a storefront for about 25 years. But in 1992, I think it was, she appointed me her producer, and I've been producing films ever since. So we basically have produced about 5 feature films. And with the 5 feature films, currently we're working on a documentary called The Birthright Project, which is a film to uplift black men, young men, mentoring
Oh,
young
that's
men.
awesome.
And so we really would like people to connect with The Birthright Project, take a look at it. It's on YouTube. YouTube is called, The Birthright Project. And
On YouTube?
Yes. Our company is Southern Peach Entertainment. It's a mother and daughter business, and basically, recently we just connected with Mrs. Carmen J, my pastor, best friend, everything, and my mother love here, and we created a show just because she was a creator. I co-wrote and directed the film. And so this is my debut of actually directing. I've always produced and always worked behind the scene as a videographer, filmmaker,
Okay.
DP. And so now I'm glad to be part of the Just Because team. So that's what we're here today to promote.
Oh,
what
wow.
we're doing. And
A lot of
That is just-
experience between
Yeah.
the three of you.
Yeah, we're just 3 queens doing God's work.
Amen.
And they say we doing what we supposed to do.
All right.
That's what we're supposed to do.
Well, I'm going to give out the call out number because I know a lot of people here in town, they are aware that you're here. They miss you.
You know, now you do.
And so if you want to call in and speak or say something or even text, the number is 216-289-1554. All right. Okay. So when will the Just Because, you're doing a pilot? Or
Yeah,
gonna
we shot the
start just-
pilot, and they've been okay. When you work with these meticulous professional people,
Right.
it was done beautifully. We had a great cast. We had a great crew. This one wasn't satisfied with one thing. She wasn't satisfied with the music.
Hey.
I got to switch everything around. We got to do this, and they have what we call screening, so we get other people's opinions. And let them know. I'm trying to explain to them. You don't have to listen to everybody. Trust your instinct first, and then you can take what it is that you want to do. And so now I guess they got it like they want to have it, and so we're gonna be out, selling it, and
Promoting it, and right now we're bringing some extra people on board. I have a cousin who's coming on board with us, and her name is Vernay Watson. She's actually a former actress on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
She played the Fresh Prince's mother.
The mother from Vi from
Yeah.
Philly.
Yeah.
That's my cousin, and Stephanie and I have done a lot of work with her. I do work with her on her plays, and she's a regular in General Hospital now.
Right.
She's coming on board as our acting coach for some of the other ones, not the seasoned actors, but the younger actors. And then we also have Darcel Leonard from the Solid Gold Dancers, who was the lead dancer, the one with the long hair, the black female. But she's her mother. Actually, Mother Love is Darcel's mother on our show.
Okay.
And,
Which is kind of creepy, seeing as how she's older than I am.
yeah, she's actually and Darcel is actually older than Mother Love.
Not
That's
by
how
much.
you do it in act. In the
Okay.
film. You just never know. But
Right.
that's the versatility that we
It's
have.
kinda-
And so we're really here just to encourage the city of Cleveland, because the creation of this story came from my passion for Cleveland, Ohio. I
Okay.
saw a lot of mothers here raising children by themselves, and then not only that, but grandmothers.
Yes.
We have a lot of grandmothers going to second and third great grandmothers raising their grandbabies.
Three
And they go,
generations.
when do I get my opportunity to live my life?
Exactly. Yeah.
And I said, God created all of us with something unique inside of us. And sometimes we find ourselves in situations that we
Create.
You
can't
didn't
control.
sign up to do.
We didn't sign it up. But does that mean that we have to sit on the sideline? No, get in the game. And let's find some ways to be creative about living life and finding fulfillment. Because what I find that when people are truly fulfilled in their own personal life, fulfillment comes first here.
Right.
And when you are fulfilled, anything that you touch will also be uplifted
Right.
and anointed as well. But it starts here. Nobody can make you happy. Only God. It comes from God to you. Okay? And so what we're going to do, we're not going to just talk about the problem. We're going to, in the show, we find solutions and we make it funny.
Okay.
And we people that are struggling with heart disease type 2. We got mother
She
love, and
incorporated diabetes into the
we're
show.
gonna so it's gonna
Okay.
be dealing with real life
Issues.
issues, but how to laugh along the way.
Right.
And that's the
right.
key. I
Yes.
think one of the keys.
They don't
Yes.
know that. We really do laugh a lot. We have a lot of struggles in our lives, but if we didn't have laughter, man, we have a problem.
Yeah.
So when we write our own material, because I notice when others write our material, they miss that love and fun that we have,
They
that
don't get it.
camaraderie, because that's unique with our people.
They don't get it because one of the things that I know, and I've been doing this since 1977, nobody can tell my story better than I can.
Right.
So I know that nobody can tell our story better than we can.
Right.
Because, outside people still want to look at us as one dimensional.
Yeah.
They look at our black men like you're a threat. They look at black women like we're angry all the time. Black women can never get along. Well, we see that's not the case.
Right.
That we can never get along. We must keep this dissension going. And so many people in our culture, in the African American community, buy into that negative energy, and we don't pool our resources together. We don't pull our faith resources together. We don't pull our workforce together. We don't pull our finances together. And then we always want to blame the Arabs, or we want to blame the white man, or we want to blame the Chinese people. But we don't sit up and say, well, Junebug didn't go to school because he thought he could sling dope on 55th and Quincy, so now he's 45 years old with no plan. But it's the white man's fault because he couldn't go to school because the teacher's stupid. Now, when a stupid person gets a college degree, And you
You
slinging
should-
dope.
You could do it. And you know what I mean? And that's exactly, I think what's wrong sometimes in our community. Even though I do believe it's getting more minimized, we still have to celebrate our victories, which we do not do.
No.
We always looking at our negative, but don't celebrate our victories. And it was something that earlier this week at work I was talking to people about. I say, I looked at 20 years worth of FBI and census records. I've been doing this since last June, and I came up. I'm like, even though African American males do make a large portion of the population in the criminal prison system, what people don't realize is it's gotten smaller and smaller as years go on. I also noticed as it got smaller, African American males graduating has got risen, and nobody's talking about that.
Well,
Nobody
John.
talks about it at all. Nobody celebrates it,
Or
Just
they
the
act
last
like it-
3 years, we had the largest group of children graduating from high school than any other ethnic group in the United States. And no one talks about it. Because they would have put us in that stereotype pigeonhole and keep us there.
And it is our responsibility to take care of us. Self-preservation
Yeah.
is the first law of nature. We can't continue to expect somebody else to come in and clean our brains out, clean our spirits out. Come
We have to do it.
You have to do it. And the first thing you've got to do is you got to face what's real. You have to look at the truth.
Reality.
You have to know what reality is and stop thinking that it's something else. This whole prison system is systemic to keep us away from the resources, the keep the education. Our ancestors are rolling over in their graves 15 times when kids say they don't want to learn to read, and young people now, they'll say, well, that happened way back in the day. Well, if you look at it now, it's happening now.
It
It
wasn't
is.
that much way back in the day.
That's
That's the thing about it. That's what I tell people.
talking about.
You say, I was, again, earlier this week I said, you realize that the Voting Rights Act really didn't go into true effect until 1970? That's not back in the day. That's only 40-some years
Wait a
ago.
minute, we didn't
Exactly.
get the Voting Rights Act in 1964.
Right. That's not back in the day.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. I remember the riots. I remember when they burned down Huff. I remember all of that.
Yeah.
I remember people marching in the streets. I remember them telling us you have to sit on the back of the bus because,
This
we
and that,
have-
and your rules and whatever.
all of
But
that.
you know what? I was listening to a program just the other night, and I did not know. When they were talking about Superman coming from Glenville,
Yeah.
and the young man that was talking about this said Glenville Heights,
Yeah.
and I was not aware that Glenville was a height. Okay, so research need to be going on there because Glenville has always been put, the other side of town. That's Glenville, but he actually said that in that day and time,
It was Glenville Heights.
it was Glenville
It
Heights,
was Collinwood Heights.
and it was
Yeah.
because the Jews lived there.
Right.
A heavily Jewish area is where Superman and all them came from, and it was just so mind blowing, And now we don't even have.
Well, we do. If you look on the maps, it still say Glenville Heights.
Does it say Glenville Heights? Okay, well there you
It's
go.
just the Heights got dropped off.
Okay.
I mean, the lingua franca.
Right.
You people started moving in.
Okay.
So
Is
it just
that what
became
happened?
Started
So it
getting
changed.
affluent. Yeah, you start getting affluent and wanting to be educated and start thinking for yourselves. And you coloreds are just mindless little people, so we have to take control of you. I'm like, I got something for you to control, buddy.
I just really think, we need to celebrate our victories. And this is a good case to show that. Because there's a lot of victories that have been happening. And then all we see is the negative and negative and negative and not the victories. Even in where we work at, PNC, I'm seeing that the largest classes coming in of new hires are these millennials, African Americans. And they're go-getters. They got a plan. I have to admit. Now, it's a plan I don't want someone to understand. But these kids are really doing
They
it.
are astute. They
Yeah.
are smart.
Yeah.
They're politically connected.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
And they
not,
work together.
And it's not just black people.
No.
It's all
All
of these
these
kids
kids.
coming
Yes,
together.
yes.
Right.
You know, when them
They
little
had turned
kids-
down the barriers.
Them kids, when that boy went in there and shot up that school in Parkland, Florida,
Look
and them
at what
kids
came out
said
of
the
that.
next day, no, that's enough. I remember when Carl Stokes was running from. Did I just date myself?
That's
Just a
all
little
right.
bit.
Come on.
I remember when Carl Stokes was running for mayor. He, back in the '60s, he was running for the. Became the first African American mayor of a metropolitan city. Okay, so they done mobilized. We done got the grandmas. I was 16. We couldn't even vote, but we had to get out and be on the streets, and we were out there singing, "We are young folks for Stokes." And we had a chant, "Old folks, if you can't do it, we gonna sock some young folks to it." And these young people are not taking this. They done took on the NRA.
Yeah,
they're taking over. They're taking over. And the teachers walking out saying, "That's what we have to do as a nation. We have to mobilize.
Yep.
We have to mobilize, and we got them first. You can't go take care of somebody else if your house is not taken care of.
Exactly.
You got to take care of your house.
You don't realize, as my daughter was putting together the birthright, her name is Danielle Ross. She's worked on this birthright program, and basically she had to go back. It was a film to be made, the Birthright Project, and what she had to do, because she's 40, and basically she had to do a lot of research. She didn't live in this civil rights, movement that we did, and she says, "Mom, those were all kids that were out there fighting on the line, but a lot of these young kids don't know. Those were the kids. Parents had to go to work. It was the kids that's walking with Dr. Martin Luther King and getting arrested and going through all their their situations. So like Mother Love said, hey, the kids are making the movement. Carmen is talking about victory right now. She has so much going on in her spirit on victory. She needs to kind of take it forward, because victory is what we need as a people. You know what I mean?
But history is just repeating itself.
Yes.
It is
always
just
does.
repeating itself. What went on then, we're going through it again.
And on a different level.
When
way.
do we learn, though? When do we learn that racism and sexism and living in a misogynistic society is not cohesive? It's not moving us forward.
It's not moving us forward, even in spiritually.
No.
Which is more important.
People, I don't need God. I can do it all by myself, and I'll be backing up real quick from
Right.
those people. Now, and for me, I don't care who you conceive God to be, but you got to know that there's a force greater than yourself, and that we can rely on that power and that energy, and not think that we can do it all by ourselves, because we simply can't. And we are strong in numbers, and this is why society. And I'm talking about the 1%ers want to keep us all down here and keep us at each other's throats, because they know once we mobilize,
Things change.
once we get into the
Yes.
one like mind,
Yes.
these young people are changing the way that business is being done. You stop and think about how many businesses technology has shut down. We don't have Blockbuster. We don't have Radio Shack. We don't have a lot of these, and because it's getting smaller and smaller, like you say, John. And
To a
pretty
technological.
right.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And
it makes the world even smaller than what it is.
And we have gotten so much connectivity, with this thing on in the Facebook and the Twitter, to fro and yon, and we're completely disconnected as human beings.
Yes, we are.
Completely disconnected. We see somebody and we speak and they look at you like you're crazy. Like, what you talking to me for? I'm like, what?
Or, people are on this all day, all night.
I
They
mean,
can't drive.
detach.
They can't let this go. It is just so amazing
what I call
how
it?
this has programmed this.
But
Well, not so much as that program us. You got to remember, we're human beings, and communication is one of the major things that our minds are instinctively geared to. What it did is make that communication easier, that you can do it without fear of reprisal of any sort.
so you don't have to have
But you
any
still have to
accountability.
have
Accountability.
you still have to communicate and have
And that's
a
the
voice.
argument, I think.
this
I
is
think that's
so
the bottom
wrong.
line argument
This is-
we're going through now.
They
The accountability.
they did a piece on 60 Minutes, about the guys that created the internet and the guys that were working with Mark Zuckerberg on Facebook. They did this deliberately.
Well, yeah.
I know you all heard about Cambridge Analytica, right?
Yeah.
And that whole big thing. Now, when they're going around, and we do it, we fill out the little surveys, someplace. We do it online.
Yes, yes.
They tracking everything you eat, drink, smoke, smell.
Yeah.
Toilet paper you use.
Right.
The people you're talking to, and they take that data. And it's artificial intelligence.
And they comprise
a
psychological.
And they say, well, you're going to want this. You know what I called it? EC.
Yeah.
Electronic
doing
crack.
that. Right. Well, they've been doing it for years, but now it's on the internet more and more prevalent. Yeah. I mean, it's the
it is
smarter thing to
advanced
do.
to a whole nother different level.
Right.
But it's making them stupid.
Yeah, but that's where you have to get some kind of balance and control with this.
And that comes back to what she was saying.
I want to hear what she has to say.
I think from my aspect as a pastor, one of the messages that God has put in my heart to go out as a leader in this, our culture influences us, but then there comes a time where we have to begin to influence our culture.
Right.
Correct.
And one thing the Lord gave me, he says, we have to go back to the beginning in our minds. In the Bible, God says, in the beginning, he created man. And when he created us, he created all of us, white, black, Chinese, Mexicans, however we look. We have no control over that.
Right.
But he said he looked at his creation and he said everything he created was good. And so what we have to do now as a race of people, part of God's lovely, beautiful people, is reprogram, transform our minds back to what God says about us.
It's good.
Because when Adam and Eve, they were given authority over the entire earth to rule and to reign and dominate it. All of us as God's creation, all of us, I don't care what race, nationality you are, we were giving this creation to inhabit the earth, to take control of it, make it something special. But what happened is Adam and Eve gave their authority over to the enemy, the devil. And when they relinquished that dominion, Satan became dominant over it. And when God saw them in the garden, he says, well, when God called out to Adam, he says, here I am, God, but I'm naked. The first thing God said, who told you
you were naked?
Who told you that?
Yeah.
Where did you get this
And he
from?
knew who told
And
him.
he's saying to our race, who told you that you were inferior? Who told you that you couldn't be the best? Who told you couldn't have a college education? Who told you that you weren't pretty enough? Who told you that you weren't smart enough? Who told you that you were ugly? Who told you that you were the scum of the earth? Who told you that all you're going to do is either go to prison or be 6 feet under? Who told you these things? It didn't come from me, because everything that I created was beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And so now what we have to do, we have to go and reprogram. And as black women, we have to go and encourage our African American men.
Yes.
Undo what the enemy told you. Okay,
Yes,
about
yeah.
yourself.
Yes.
Because your peers told you that, another man told you. But God created all of us equal. And we should never let another man on the same level that we are tell us
Different.
that he's our higher power. You're not my higher power. I'm not your higher power.
Right.
We are all
need to
equal.
We
be
all are
equal
one
to
and-
the higher power.
Yes, yes.
So we've got work to do. And God told me, Carmen, I will not come back until I restore the plight of the African American community. And that means we have work to do, because he says, when I come back, I'm coming back for a prosperous church, a victorious church. And that includes us.
Yes.
But we've got to work with, we can't wait for them to do it. We have to begin to work in our own circle.
And you know why?
And promote one
One
another.
of the things that
Absolutely.
has really
Amen.
bothered me throughout my life is that young black people don't want to know their true history. They don't want to know that, first of all of us came from Lucy in Africa. We are only 6 degrees separated. There's 6 of us in this studio. So my sister, my brother, my sister, myself.
Okay.
We're only 6 degrees separated. We have to get rid of this crab barrel mentality.
Yeah.
We need to know. See, my mama ruined us. My name tell my mama, God rest my mama's soul. My mama rent. She rent. My mother told us from the very beginning, she always had books around the house. She always had Bible. She had the thesaurus. She had the Rosicrucian. We the only kids in the projects getting beat, and you got to get a dictionary to find out, okay, what she call him? My mother told my brother one time, she said, "You're acting like a eunuch." I was like, I have never heard that word. Got to go look. It's in the Bible. And I was like, okay, does that start with a U? It starts with an E, so now I got to get a history lesson before my whooping.
Right.
And so we were encouraged, we were taught that we come from the seat of royalty. Yes. We come from knowledge. We come from greatness. There's a reason why we have a darker hue, because we can stand in God's sun. And if that's why the folk want to stand in the sun, because they know we can take it. I know why God made me a black woman, because he knew I could handle it. Everybody can't handle this. Everybody can't handle being a black man. Mm-hmm. And I want to say this to all the black women's out there who want to talk down to our black men and our black sons, and you want to sit up there and your daddy ain't no good, and you look just like your daddy, and he make me sick. Chick, you picked him. You can't blame a child for your bad decision. Mm-hmm. Get to know who you're going to allow to be intimate with you. Mm-hmm. And if you don't want to do it, then you're going to deal with the consequences. So you can, I am the best mom. Oh my God. I could be on the front page of the mommy book any day. Oh my God. I could not teach my son how to be a man. I have no idea what that is like. That's why you got a daddy. Right. Your daddy do his job, I do my mother's job, and everything will be all right. We don't want to do that. Karma said, who told you you can't have a good man? I can't find a good man. You're not a good woman, so you're not going to find a good man. You out here tripping and going to get your hair did and your nails done and your pedicure and your house looking like a tornado went through it and your kids look like a bowl of yakame.
Yakame.
If you ever saw a bowl of yakame, it just looked like rags. We have to take responsibility.
Yeah,
we have
accountability.
To teach our children. We went to Sunday school. I know everybody in here went to Sunday school.
Yeah.
It was not about a debate. Oh, I don't feel like getting up to go to Sunday school. Where you gonna live?
My mother said everybody in here going
Everybody
to church.
going to church.
So get up, get ready, and I'll see you when you come back. Okay?
Everybody going to church. Sunday school, everybody going to church. They don't demand. They don't feel like it is that they need to introduce their children to faith. Or
simple responsibility and accountability. That's what the bottom line is. And demanding that your child goes to Sunday school, because I never missed hardly a day until I left home. That was a requirement. Or even going to church, period. But it would taught accountability, actions, accountability. If you do this, there's this. Right. If you do that, this is that. And that's one of the things I think we have been laxed on, because a lot of people think in our community we have gone to so much. I don't want to put that on my child. I want them to be free. Well, one of the part of being free is accountability.
Right.
Or I don't want him to go through what I went through, so I'm going to give. Right. And they don't understand, and so therefore they give, and they don't have any
idea of accountability or responsibility.
No kind of work ethic.
Because what's going to happen when you're gone?
Right.
Well, I agree with Mother Love. We as women cannot teach men to be men.
No, we can't.
My daughter, when she created the Birthright Project, she has a son, Elijah, and he is 12 years old. And it was just us all this life up until 12. And basically, she started the Birthright Project.
I want to tell us a little bit more about the Birthright Project.
The Birthright Project is basically a project where we are trying to uplift black young men by using mentors within our environment, our neighborhoods, to help one another. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They're mentorings. What we do is we get community leaders, we get pastors, we get city officials, we get teachers, we get regular men on the street, whether they've been to prison, whether they're out of prison, whether they just don't even know whether they're coming in together. And we sit just like we're sitting at a round table. And we talk to one another. We have a moderator, and basically we have a conversation. And what they do is they mentor the young black men. Sometimes we have a young black man on the panel so they can talk to him.
Someone in their own
Yeah, we've
generation.
done about 13 episodes or so on
Wow.
YouTube. And what we really wanted
We have a caller. Okay, let's take their caller. Yes.
All right, caller, go ahead.
Hey family, this is Joy.
Hey, Joy!
Hey you.
How you doing?
I am doing wonderfully well. How are you? It's so good to hear your voice and to see your face.
Blessed and highly favored, girl. I'm blessed by the best. I ain't studying the rest.
I know that's right. Hey Lady D.
Hello. Hey, Joy.
How's everybody?
We're good. We're good.
Hello to your guests.
Thank you. Hello.
How are you?
Okay, what's your
All right,
question?
Yeah, there you go.
I'm loving the conversation.
Awesome.
About just our community and the things that we do and the things that we don't do. You guys are so on point. I'm excited for the work that you guys are doing and look forward to seeing it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joy.
Speaking, how's your son?
Jay, he is doing fine. He's sitting right here. We're watching the game.
Hey, Jay! Tell him
Everybody's doing well.
That's good. That's good.
So hopefully
That's a
we'll
good
get a
sign.
chance to see you tomorrow evening. I haven't told her yet, but we're going to dinner tomorrow with everybody. Okay, so.
Now you just found out.
Okay. Well, I'll be at
Typical
Frederick's
Joanne.
tomorrow. 6 or 7 o'clock. We'll be at Frederick's.
I will meet you guys there when I leave the office tomorrow.
Okay, we'll see you then.
Alrighty then.
Okay.
Well, now I have
You should be used to it by
I
now.
have a good dinner and Bible study at the House of Jubilee on Wednesday night. Okay, man.
Thanks, Joy.
Gotta be used to it by now.
You know, yeah.
Okay, so now you know.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much.
All right, got that out the way.
Got the way.
Okay, now back,
Saved by the bell.
back to the birthright.
Say by the ball.
So what I was saying is basically it took us and Carmen and Mother Love is
Mother Liver.
Mother Live.
Mother, yeah, she lives. She done lived.
Mother Love has also been a part of our project. They work with us on the project, Mother Love. We actually have a woman's panel too.
Awesome.
But what we
Okay.
did is we wanted this for the men first. We wanted men to speak with men because if the man is the head of the household, we want them to stand strong. And basically, it took them to get it started, and then our next season will be with women. Okay, so it's all about each one help one, each one teach one. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So that's what we're doing.
Well, that's beautiful. And how long has this been in existence? When did she start the birthright?
She started it, actually, Danielle created it back before Obama was in office because it was going to be a film, and we decided to do a documentary first so that we could tell the story. So I'd say we've been working on it for the last 2 years, and it's up and going. We have about 13 episodes done, and we're moving on, We're moving on. But right now, we put that on hold, and we're working on Just Because right now. So we're still, it's out there for people to take a look
So
at.
the process when you go sell it to, I guess, different, what do you call it? Broadcasters. Is that an easy thing or is
Oh
that a
yeah,
hard
right,
thing?
John. Sure. We just walk in.
Yeah,
and we
you know
say,
what I'm
hey,
saying?
NBC, Fox,
What's up? I got this new show.
I'm the fabulous Mother Love. This is the fabulous creator, Carmen J. This is the fabulous director. And we have this marvel, and just take it.
Jesus.
But contrary to popular belief, especially now with the advent of Netflix and Hulu
Right.
and all these other outlets,
Right.
it's the young people, again, have changed the landscape. We can pretty much do what we want. And we pretty much kind of, sort of, don't need the studios because we can create our own environment, we can create our own projects, we can sell our own projects, and we can keep our own profits. And so like Netflix, they bought one show, they bought 100 episodes sight unseen, because they have that kind of money.
Right.
And television cannot compete with that. They first of all, a lot of people in TV, they're not creative. If it looks good on paper or if it's their friend, and don't get me wrong, I believe in nepotism. I hire the real, I hire everybody as long as you do your job. Okay, but what they'll do is they'll come in and they simply can't financially afford to buy 100 episodes
Right off the bat.
sight unseen.
Okay.
They buy shows. They had this one show where the chick that played on Dharma and Greg.
Oh, yes.
Where she was talking to some little spirit.
Right.
And I wanted to slap whoever greenlit that project.
It didn't last
wasted
long.
them people's money.
It didn't.
Wasted that talent. You know, and
Yeah.
Rachel Dratch is a really funny person from
Yes,
off
she
of
is.
Saturday Night Live. Wasted their talent on a stupid concept. And then what they'll do is they say, well, we tried it with them, so we don't have to hire her again. We tried it with her. We don't have to work with them again. So they like kind of weeding out the herd, but it hurts them.
Right.
It doesn't hurt, you know. They can go about it another way. I remember two rappers. I wish I could call their name. Independent artists. Okay, so then did it. They went to the studio. They went the route. You know, and it was like nobody gonna listen to this. Nobody gonna. We know better for you. Well, anyway, they went. They went
The
to
indie one.
we call it guerrilla marketing,
Right.
and they were selling CDs out of their car. Make a long story short, they got nominated for Grammys.
Okay.
But so then, I'm not gonna call any name, but I think it was Capitol Records and Epic and RCA.
But those
I'm not
folks.
I'm not gonna say their name.
Okay. Right.
Okay, so they they get invited to the Grammys and it's a big to do. And I want to say, babies, I wish I could remember your name, but I don't remember Tuesday. But I gave you big kudos because they come up. Oh my God, oh Stephanie, you're just so fabulous. We want to take you on. She said, if you don't get the heck away from me, when I came, I was almost on my knees begging you to sign me. You said no. Nah, I don't need you. And it was a girl and a guy rapper, and they were, they weren't like a couple or anything. They were two separate entities.
Right.
Right.
They said, we don't need you now. And they blowing up. I don't know if it was DJ Khalid. But it was somebody,
I
and
think you're
they're
right
just
about
blowing up.
Yeah.
They are
And
just
Carter.
blowing. And the record companies could
Yeah, it was
shoot
TJ Khalid and
themselves
Carter.
in the head.
Because I remember
Right.
him in Chicago and here, Cleveland,
Okay.
actually. Even though he was from Chicago, Cleveland became a base of his, really, because he was selling out of his car.
Guerrilla
there.
marketing.
Yeah, so he would drive spend like 3 or 4 days here in Cleveland.
And you got to
Selling.
do what you got to do. If you believe in you,
Yeah.
get behind your word,
Promote
and get
yourself.
out there and promote yourself.
That's right.
And
Or
don't-
you get Lady D to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, you get somebody like Lady D. I was giving her. People, did we ever tell that story?
No, we never told that story. I think we told it in a book.
Oh yeah, I did
Yours.
tell it in the
You told
book.
it in the book. You can tell that story.
Okay, I can tell the story. Okay,
Okay.
okay. What had happened was, I was in Cleveland. I was just supposed to be visiting my mother, and I had my little baby. We were visiting my mother, and I looked in the paper, got a job driving a school bus. So I'm a school bus driver. I'm driving around. So we had school bus monitors. So during the break, I'm in the break room cutting up, acting wild, and they've got the people in stitches. We cutting up. I got a little hot plate. We got spaghetti and chili going. They love me. Oh Lord, they love Sister Love. They love Mother Love. And so, because I've been Mother Love since 1977. So,
All right.
I'm in there laughing and got everybody laughing and joking. I don't know this chick from Eve. She comes in, and I'm sitting down holding court. She come in front of me and says, show's over, stop talking. I said, what you doing? She said, show's over, I handle it. She said, show's over. You want to hear her laugh? You want her to make her laugh? Next time you see her, you going to be paying to see her. She going to be on stage. And turned around and said, you will not do this for free again. And I have not done it for free again.
Wow.
She said it. She said, no, you going on the road. You're going to do stand-up comedy. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
I said, I don't know anything about stand-up comedy. She said, this is what you going to do. You going to beat your face, put your dress on, and I was a big girl. She said, you going to get up, you going to get on the stage. I'm like, how am I going to get on somebody? Don't worry, her and Cleo Busby.
And can I interject
Yes,
something
ma'am.
here? That is part of being created in God's image, because sometimes people don't realize what they have inside of them, and it's up to us to
Yeah.
be so connected to our higher power that we see. And it's up to us to help bring out those gifts in
Right.
others, or to confirm them. Someone
Right.
may know that there's something that we were talking to a young man at church this morning about, and he met Stephanie. I was telling the church, Stephanie was a filmmaker, and he came up to Stephanie and said, I've been wanting to do films all my life, but I'm nervous, I'm scared, I just don't know who to talk to or where to go to. And Stephanie began to talk to him. And I said, we're going to be here Wednesday, and I want Stephanie to pray with you. And the Bible said, who was that? Paul said, silver and gold have I none.
Right.
Such as I have, give I
Okay.
unto you.
Amen.
And so I told her, I want him to come, and the two of them get together so she can mentor and just talk with him, exchange numbers.
Right.
That's what we have to begin to do to
Break that.
firm, to break instead of talking about one another.
Break the
Right.
chains.
And saying what we are not, let's say what
we are,
Yes.
and what we can be.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
what we're supposed to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know,
So kudos to you.
Oh, she was like, okay, and she was like, I said, well, I don't know what to charge. Don't worry, we'll handle that. So she was my manager, and Cleo Busby was my agent, and they sent me out into the world, and as they say, the rest is
It's
history.
history.
That's right, and
But
now here you are.
Talking about that we had a young man last Sunday on the air, Mr. Mackey of Jumpstart, and one of the things we were talking about is that how so many of our young people who are on 55th Slinging Dope don't understand that you are already running a business, that you are already an entrepreneur,
Yes.
that you already understand the important things about doing a business, from the logistics to the business. You're already doing it without the formal education.
Just
So
Right.
what's
Right.
stopping you?
Right.
What's stopping you? Do it
So
legitimate.
why can't you be a mathematician? Why can't you be a
Why
physicist?
come you can't open a business in East Cleveland and revitalize your community? You have the knowledge. God
You
gave it to you.
already
Yeah.
have it.
You got it.
You are
Instinctively.
already equipped.
You're doing it.
You're doing it all.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta tell you, I'm not a joke teller. I can't tell. Well, I could tell one joke, but I can't tell it to my pastor's wife. So it's not.
Okay,
Okay, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Well, we'll just say that for
But
another
I'm just saying,
time.
I'm a storyteller.
Right.
God said, write it down, make it plain. We don't have to complicate things. And you brought this up, a really good point. One of the things that we are not doing is networking, and we're so afraid of sharing our resources. I used to get written by my agent all the time. Mother Love, you just can't be telling people how to get into the business. You just can't be telling people how to do this, that, and the third. You can't be telling them about. Oh yes, I am gonna tell them. So no. I learned somebody was willing to tell me
Yeah.
I am willing to share the information. And they would say, one thing I have learned is don't just give away your connections. You know, I learned how to not do that. But what God puts into me, it be so much, I have to get it out because I got to make room for, as my grandbaby would say, I got to make room for some more else stuff.
Right.
You have to tell. You have to
Yes.
tell because basically,
If you hold on, what good does it
Well,
do you?
And what
It
how
doesn't.
you supposed to help
Doesn't.
each other? So you
Yes.
sitting over here, okay, I went through that. Oh, she over there, going through a whole bunch of changes. Oh, I ain't gonna tell her nothing about I was sexually molested or my grandfather raped me or I was
This and
like this, that, and the third or I'm a recovering drug addict or I'm a recovering prostitute. I ain't gonna tell her. I'm just gonna let her sit over there and suffer. And when you look at that and you see it
Yeah.
and you don't do anything,
Yeah.
But let me just say, I have a friend that's outside of the studio that could not come in, due to the space. But he's out here praying with us. He just came out of the prison system. A dear friend of mine I knew since we were little runts running around at AJ Rickoff in Cleveland.
Wow.
And he
AJ
just
Rickoff.
came home from prison on March the 2nd.
Oh, right.
On fire for God. And I told him, I said, this is your opportunity. Your culture influenced you. It's time for you to get back and influence this culture.
Right.
And I said, you can tear down the strongholds. What the enemy meant for harm, turn it around.
Right.
For good.
For
Use
good.
your testimony. Use your story to reach back and reproduce yourself, the good side, the way that it was supposed to be. Before he told you that you were
You wasn't no
nobody.
good.
Before that
Right.
evil,
That
whoever
wisdom
told
and
you
it-
that you
no.
couldn't be smart.
Right.
Educated, bright young man. So it's going to be up to us to support. I can't just tell him. I have to rally around him and support him and to lift him up as a man. Because sometimes our words are so powerful. Our words are
Well,
more powerful than
words
I would rather
created
get slapped
everything.
than to be
Words
told
created
I'm not.
But
everything.
words are action.
Our words
You
are
know,
everything.
it's your experience. It's
And
everything.
we
You
have
know.
to be
It's the
so
spark.
careful what comes out of this mouth.
Exactly.
We have to be, and if we can't say anything good about one another,
Which
just
God
don't
always
say
said.
just
anything.
shut up.
Just don't say it because it hurts. And sometimes people carry hurts. They carry it to their grave.
Yeah.
But the richest place on earth is out there in the graveyards. Because so many people die with so much inside of them. Never fulfilling their divine purpose because of what somebody said about them or for fear they couldn't make it. So we have to be life changers, people. We don't have, tomorrow's not promised to
Exactly.
any of us.
That's
Whatever
right.
we put our hands to do right now, we got to be about business.
Not hiding our talents
That's
in the
right.
ground.
That's right.
And not being ashamed of them.
That's right.
You know,
I think
used
that's
to-
what that. I always took that parable to mean that.
Yes.
That Christ was talking about when he says, you know, God, the rich man gave certain talents, and the number one guy buries it, but the other ones go out and use it in the community, and then he gets mad at the one who buries it. Say, well, I brought exactly what you gave him. It's like, that's what I already had that.
Right.
What do I need ever?
He took away that one that he had because he says that I'm expecting a return off of my
investment.
Right.
Okay, he's expecting a return
On
of
his
everything that
Every
he's
person
given all of
of
us.
us.
Now we can complain about one. Go and multiply whatever you have because as you give out, he gives
more
more.
Yeah.
Yes,
comes in.
yes,
And
yes,
I'm
yes.
telling you, I'm a living witness to the power of Scripture. When God says, I will pour you out a blessing, you will not have room.
Amen.
You won't have room enough. I'm telling you. DeRay could tell you this. Lady D can tell you this. How much furniture and how many clothes and how many shoes and pocketbooks and trucks I done backed up to my house. And my husband going, oh, God, who need a washer and dryer now? Honey, boy, come on, let's go to Sears. Your mama giving away furniture again. Because, and I was never fearful of giving it away. You know, and I tell people all the time, stop thinking in the form of lack. They'll say, I don't have good credit. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough this. I don't have enough that. Well, that make you a bad financial manager. So now you need to go get your financial house in order. We are not supposed to be debtors. We're supposed to be in a position to lend. We got to pool our resources together. I remember when my son was little, and I had moved back to Cleveland, and one of my girlfriends I grew up with lived around the corner, so we reconnected and everything. All they talked about was, oh, I can't find a man. I said, you find a man to make them two babies? So don't tell me you can't find a man. Maybe you can't keep a man. Now that could be your issue. You know, and so what I thought, okay, because I wasn't married to his father at the time, but he was always in my son's life, so I wasn't a single parent per se. I just wasn't. Okay, he lived over there, I lived over here. Okay, so I said to the girls, it's like maybe 7 of us, you know, everybody got, you know, they're single women because the fathers of these kids are nowhere to be, God knows. So anyway, I said, okay, look, you guys are receiving public assistance. And because they was always coming over my house. Oh, I guess about the 24th or the 25th.
Everything's gone.
Yeah, you know, they looking, can you give me a chicken? Can you give me a cup of flour? I need some salt and pepper. Can I get 2 potatoes and some string beans? I'm like, so why don't I just give you the whole meal?
Right.
You know, and they're coming to me because I still have food. You know, I knew how to budget my money. I knew what to do. I knew how much it was. So I said, this is what we're going to do. Let's do this. Let's pull together $50 a piece. We'll put $50 in the kitty. After, you can't come to the kitty until after the 20th of the month.
Right.
Okay. And they always were coming for Pampers and baby stuff and, you know, washing powder, stuff you need all the time. Soap, deodorant, toilet paper, toothpaste. I'm a bulk shopper. They knew I was a bulk shopper. So I'm realizing at the end of the month, my deodorant is missing, Kotex missing, boxes of certain things is all gone, baby diapers is gone. And they were like, well, girl, you know, I just opened up the box and I just took 15 diapers out of a box of 30, but I'm not supposed to miss those. So I said, let's pull this in. So at the end of the month, you know, you can come in and have the money for the diaper. They looked and they said, well, who gonna keep the money? I said, well, who's got a bank account? They go, I said, well, I have a bank account. And I said, what we can do is we can all go to the bank and open up a bank account.
Right.
If I tell you these chicks went down to the bottom of the crab barrel, why we got to open up a bank account? $50, I don't want to do it. You going to take the money.
And that's the problem we
have. Fighting about who's going to be in charge or,
I
you
don't
know.
care who in charge.
Right, but doing it as a community, as
team.
one, as a
Yeah.
team, and realizing
Okay.
we're on the same team.
Make a long story short, I've been in California 29 years. They still in the same spot.
Because they didn't come together.
Don't move.
That
from
lack
this
mentality.
same
The lack
spot.
mentality.
The lack, and that's what we gotta keep on telling our children, getting our children, our community. They don't have that, and so we can break that chain. I think that's
But
the
they gotta
main
see
thing.
it, John. They have to
Well,
see it.
I think these kids are seeing it more and more. These millennials, I think they do see it more and more. Just even from my nephews and my cousins' children, I can see that they say, John talked about this, John did this, and I know because I always talked about, especially to the males in my family who are younger than me. This happens if you do this. I did it. Driving without a license is not a good thing.
No.
I got myself into a lot of trouble, and even though I was a salesman and I needed the car, but it was like, I will never be in this city in another 50 years or so who cares? Move on. But it's not a good thing. I say it's going to be there to here, to here, to here. And eventually, you know what? You're paying extra taxes. It was not until I met my wife who really hammered it, because I still similarly, was like, whatever. As long as I stay within the bus range, I'm good. So to take the car, fine with them, let them resell it. I don't care. But I did care, because you had those warrants, you got those things. So this is the start. This is some of the things that young black males get caught up in all the time. Okay, is that driving without a license, driving, and then that leads to other things. And so you got to stop the dominoes. All those kids, some of them, maybe 2 or 3, no, but the majority understood that because they watched it. They saw what happens. They saw what's going to happen, and they try to say, "Okay, I'm going to do this." And I've noticed that about these younger generation, the millennials, a lot is they notice, they pick up, especially Afro American ones. They notice, and they're like, "Hey," and even the ones who are slinging dope or whatever, they're noticing. Okay, I need to get a lawyer and have them on. A retainer. If I'm going to do this business, then I'm going to have the retainer.
Yeah.
And I have to learn how to then I'm not going to be doing this for my lifetime. So,
Because there is no retirement plan in the drug business.
there is no in crime business. I learned that at an early age from my father's uncles who were criminals. And they pretty much told me, take 30 years of your life and put it on the shelf. I'm like, 30 years? What are you talking about? That's 30 years of vacation. So that's 30 years you got to steal, or sell to cover. 30 years. Yeah, because that's 30 years you're going to be in prison.
Wow.
No matter what. So take 30 years and put it on the shelf. That was too much for me. I didn't even
30
like
minutes would have been
Yeah,
too much.
I don't even like being, getting grounded at that time.
being confined.
That scared me, even grounded. And he's talking about 30
Gotcha.
years. So we got to break these chains. And I think we're doing it, but I think your show, it's going to be a blast. I think it's going to be one of those things that people could see. Like you said, it's funny, but it's all about life and about our community. So, like you said, nobody can tell our story better than we.
When do we expect can we see this show?
Well, we're looking for financial backers now in Cleveland, so all you rich people here, 100K here, 50K here, $500,000 there, we can get it done. We're not asking everybody, one person to do it, do it collectively.
And how can they reach out to you if they want to give you some money?
Oh, yeah. Don't we, isn't there just because
Do we have a website? How can
Yes.
people reach out to you? Let's get that out to our
We
audience.
have what you can do is you can give us shoot us an email here at Just Because Team. That's JUSTBEACOS. So B is the name. The star of the short is Beatrice, but we call her B for short. So
Awesome.
it's JUSTBEACOS as in Sam, team at gmail.com. Okay? We just spelled that. So you shoot us an email and let us know if you're interested, or you can give us a call at area code 818-599-0015.
All right.
Okay, and then we'll give you all the other particulars. But I just want to encourage the city of Cleveland today and just say thank you all for having us here.
Thank you.
And
Thank
you.
we're
for being
moving
here.
forward with a purpose, and everything that we do, you guys are in our hearts and our minds and our prayers at all times. And we're not just talking about it. We want to allow God to use us to make an impact, and we're believing that more of you are going to step up and do and find your purpose in life. Find your purpose. There's enough
Yes.
room for everybody. There's no big I's and little U's. We are all in this thing together, man. And we're here to support one another. Our young people should not be running the world. God put elders in place to teach them, so when their time comes, they can run it.
We gotta
So
equip
they
them.
have to look to us as elders. They don't have all the answers. Yes, they're
No, they
young,
don't.
they're millennials, they're in it, but they need the older
elders.
ones.
They need the
the
guys.
ones
step
who have
up.
been there and done that, so that they don't have to go there.
Excellent,
Okay,
excellent.
and avoid some of the pitfalls that we fell into. Okay, that's why we're there for them. So we
Awesome.
have to find a way to come together. Okay,
Right.
but God put us here for them, and so let's do this thing. Let's do it with the spirit of excellence, and let's do it together. It's time to build up and not tear down.
Excellent.
And I would like to invite the audience to listen to Mother Love, Dr. Mother Love, Monday through Friday from 2 o'clock until 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on the Mother Love Show on Blog Talk Radio / The Mother Love Show.
Excellent.
And don't
All right.
forget to go to YouTube.
Oh, we got a caller. We got
for
one caller.
Birthright.
Go ahead, caller.
Hi.
Hello.
I know that you guys, hello. I know that you guys are about to get off the air, but I wanted to call in and say that I love you very so much. And exclusive to you, Mother Love. This is Aisha calling from Atlanta.
Oh my!
Wow.
Hey, Aisha, calling from the last. Make me a fish sandwich. I'll be there shortly.
All righty. All right. Well, thank you, Aisha, from calling from Atlanta.
No, from the Lancer.
Over Atlanta.
No, she's calling from
Oh,
Atlanta.
this your Aisha.
My
Oh,
Aisha.
hey, Aisha,
Your
hi,
goddaughter.
baby. She
She thought she was about to get it,
I thought I'd get a fish
fish from Lance.
Oh wait, Isha,
Yes.
where my shades?
Oh, down.
Uh-oh, them glasses.
Yeah, where are my shades, chick? Yes, and wait a minute, and the room fell silent.
Ba-dum-ba-dum.
We got so much to catch up on, but I'm gonna let you end the show, and I just had to call and say that real quick.
Well, I
Okay.
Thank you,
love
Aisha.
All right, well, thank you
before
so
we
much.
go, once
Okay.
again, Stephanie,
John, get 1 minute. Let her.
1 minute. Well, let Stephanie get that YouTube out for
Okay, go,
Birthright.
Stephanie.
Okay, it's www. The Birthright Project on YouTube.
Yeah.
On
And
YouTube.
also, I'm so sorry, you can go to our website, www.southernpeach.squarespace.com. Okay, that's southernpeach.squarespace.com.
And they-
All right, well, thank you so
Cleveland.
much, Cleveland.
Thank you, Mother Love.
For Mother Love and our Southern California girls. And that's what's going on with Lady D and the Sir John Show. The home of the what?